Hello everyone, this is Arafella with Adventure Creator one last time. Previously I played randomly generated maps on the beginner and advanced settings. Today I'll be going into the editor where you can make your own levels. You'll notice we have a menu at the bottom, a room at the top. We have all these options. Test, of course, lets you test your map. Drops your adventurer down there, lets you wander around. Hit the spacebar to go back to the menu. Yes, because the Atari joystick only has one button functionally, even if you have a custom joystick with multiple buttons, the button is select, cancel out is spacebar for this game anyway. Menu goes back to the menu. You can set a password on your game. I did not, so there's just none. I think copy lets you copy a room. Redo is more of an undo. Name lets you set the title of your adventure, so by default that's Adventure Creator. You can change the author. Your goal can be either find a treasure or collect wealth, just like in the randomly generated games, so we'll say our goal is to find a peacock feather. Energy ration, how much energy you start with. You can set this to anything you want from high to low. Our room selector lets us go to different rooms. There's room 1, and it goes up to... I'm not sure how many rooms you can have. Looks like a pretty sizable amount. Yeah, 80 different rooms you can have. So if you want to, you can create a fairly large dungeon. I'll just go back to room 0. Below the room number, you have where the exits lead. North, east, south, and west. If the number there is 0, then there is nothing in that direction. Build lets you put your building cursor into the thing. Will let you build whatever you have selected next to it. So space is just empty space. Wall is walls. You press the button to place it. Press the get button again to remove. I'm having trouble with the button right now. That's kind of odd. Anyway. Hot walls are the ones that hurt you when you touch them. Does it normally do this, or is my button stuck on repeat for some reason? Bumper. Those are the things that kind of get in your way, but don't do anything special other than that. Hot bump. Yeah, I think my controller's stuck on repeat for some reason. Hold on. Okay, yeah, I had auto fire on for reasons I'm not sure of. Okay, bumper. Yeah, so what was happening when I couldn't place things is it was getting placed and then unplaced because the button was on turbo, and I don't know why. Anyway, hot bumper. Same thing as bumpers, except that they hurt you instead of getting your way. Hot walls are the things that toggle on and off. Or, yeah. I think the one at the bottom there is a regular hot wall. And hot walls 1 and 2 toggle on and off. The 1 and 2 use different timing. Secret doors are the things that look like walls, but they turn into not walls after a while. Hot mine, they're kind of sometimes there, sometimes not there, and if they're there, they hurt you. And the hot boxes blink on and off. The tops and buttons are solid. The sides are not solid, but hurt you when they're there. Tall bars, we've seen some of these in the random levels. Those move back and forth. Wide bars, same thing, except they're wide instead of tall. Again, 1 and 2 are different alternations. Top traps are the things that fill in from the top that do damage. Bottom traps, same thing, but from the bottom. And we're back to space. So those are all the things you can build in your level. You can also place doors, of course. So I'll just place a door there and say that south goes to room 2. You can place creatures. The creature lab is an interesting thing. So if you've been watching along with the other videos for this, you'll notice that creatures appear in all sorts of different varieties. So what's going on with that is you have these 10 different heads and 10 different bodies you can pick from. And when it's random, it will just pick them randomly. So I can choose like a snake head with an octopus body. You can make them any color that the game has available to you. So I'll have that purple. You can give it a name, so this can be like Snakehead. Off is, I believe this is the movement speed. Off is it doesn't move. Slow is it's slower than your adventure. Normal is the same speed as the adventure, and fast is it just zips around. You have the different behaviors. So chase, it tries to chase you down. Hide is the opposite, where it runs away. Stand is it just stands there. I'm not sure how that's different from off except for the animation. Yeah, I think that is the difference. If it's off, then it's not moving and it's not animating. If it's a different speed but stand, it will stand there but animate at that speed. Bounce is it kind of bounces around. Random is random movement. Guided is interesting. This is something you will not see in a randomly generated map. Basically, guided, you start it somewhere, then give it a path, and it will follow that path. You have different behaviors you can give it. Talk, ask, trade, give, accept, zap, and pop. So talk is something you will not see in a randomly generated quest. Talk is it just says something. It has a message for you. You can give hints like that. You can do like a password, which you could then have for an ask creature. If the creature is ask, it will ask you a question. If you give it the correct answer, it will give you something. Trade we saw in the random maps. Trade is it takes something at random, gives you something. The first thing it gives you is determined from the editor. Give, it just gives you something. Accept is it takes something and I think gives you a message when it does so. Let's pick that. Accept, let's say it accepts a few old coins, and in response, it can either say something or give something. So let's say it gives you a peacock feather for a few old coins. So if I then test this, as the creature is following the path that I just defined. Bring my treasure, it says, but doesn't say what that treasure is. Notice I cannot go through the door here. That's because room 2 is not set up and does not have a doorway there. So I'll say north goes back to room 1. There. Okay, gray here. This is the color of the room. You can make it any of the available colors or dark. Let's just make this purple. Put some treasures in here. There's a few old coins. Yes, for treasures, in addition to picking which treasure you place, you can also set the value of each treasure. So, by default in the random one, everything is 50. But when you are making your own adventure, you can make them worth whatever you want. You can set how many locks are on each type of treasure. One other thing you can do from the treasure list, you can actually, if you want to, rename them. All you have to do is highlight the treasure name and start typing. So, if I want to call this, say, the Holy Grail, just type that in, spaces for the additional ones, and there you go. We now have a Holy Grail worth 60 that has 4 locks on it. If you want to, you can do things like hints there. So, if you have, say, a creature that asks a riddle, you can type in the answer to the riddle here. That's probably going to be too long. So, just type in password. Beans. And there you go. You can just put these in like any other treasure, and the game will use these names. There's a few old coins there. Let's paste another creature. We'll have a cat head swirly bottom something that chases you slowly and says, yeah, space to select. Give coins to Snakehead. And when you go to the test option, it will put your character in the last room you looked at with their starting point wherever the build cursor last was. Here's a few coins. Here's Snakehead. There, you give him the coins, you get the peacock feather. Not much of an adventure, but yeah. So yeah, those are treasures. Tools will let you place tools in the room, so energy shields, torches, hovels, nippers, ferrets. You'll notice that for tools, you cannot set how many locks are on the chest. That's just random. Another weird thing you can do. As I noted, you have to have the doors set up in both rooms for them to work. You can also do some weird things, like, say I put doors on both sides here. I can say that east goes to room 2 and west goes to room 2. So what that does, if I go to test, if I go east, it goes back to the same room. You can have rooms loop like this. You can have exits that are one way. You can set up mazes like this if you want to. Unlike Think Quick, which I showed in the PC series, Think Quick, you have a map that you create. The connections are there automatically. And if you put a door in one room, it has a door corresponding in the next room. You can't do that sort of thing. There is no specific map. It's just you tell it which room the doors go to. The doors go to that room. If it makes no geographic sense, it doesn't matter. The game doesn't care. It's just if north goes to room 1, then north goes to room 1. Whether or not the reverse is true, whether or not that's the same room you were just in, you can do some interesting things with that if you want to. But in any case, this has been Airfelon playing Adventure Creator and demonstrating the editor. And this is probably going to be the end of my Atari game series, at least for now. If I feel like it, I might come back to this, do some other things. Maybe try doing some recording with the actual Atari hardware. I think I still have one that works in the basement. We'll see.